But if I did have the Braves winning, this would change my opinion on if they can win in October or not. They need him in October to win.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment.
What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin' Bats. We got a lot to talk about today. Things have gone crazy in the baseball world, including Spencer Strider and his UCL, maybe not in the best shape. So we're going to talk the Braves, Spencer Strider, Spencer Steer of the Reds. We're going to talk Pirates, Tigers, and of course, it's Monday. We got Power Rankings. We got Team of the Week, Player of the Week. Mondays are always a favorite episode of mine. Alex, this is going to be a lot of fun. Everybody, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also, you can watch everything on Spotify, on YouTube, and follow us on TikTok. We're getting close to 100,000 followers. We really want 100,000 followers. So go follow us. Alex, we got a lot to talk about.
Where are you, by the way? Can you just explain? If you're watching, I'm solo here. Ben's in a beautiful undisclosed location with a brick wall behind him, all by myself. That's what it felt like in here. Okay, where are you?
I am in Austin, Texas currently. I'm going up to, so the eclipse is happening on Monday, as everyone knows. We film on Sunday evenings. So currently in Austin, I'm heading up to Dallas on Monday to watch the Astros, family, obviously, with the Astros. So go up there, see the end of that series, and then flying back. So gonna see the solar eclipse. It's gonna be the longest eclipse since like 1877, I hear. I got some sick glasses, Alex. I am ready.
Wait, you just said everybody knows the solar eclipse is today, and I got to take a moment to laugh at myself because I did not. I was 100% convinced that the solar eclipse happened on Saturday, and I just missed it because I was inside. I even told people, like, make sure you have good energy today. Make sure you go outside. So by you just telling me this I'm just now realizing and finding out it's Monday. So happy crazy energy eclipse day. I
also hope you had good energy on Saturday, well as making sure your energy is good on Monday.
I love that so much. Okay, well, it is Monday. So let's get started with Overreaction Monday. So I'm going to give Ben some statements, and he's going to say if he thinks it's an overreaction or not. So let's get started with a big one, okay? Spencer Strider's injury ruins the Braves' division title hopes.
Alec, I think that's an overreaction. I think the Braves are one of, if not the best team in baseball, and I say it that way because I don't want to spoil the power rankings we got coming up. But this team is really good. Now, I did have Spencer Strider winning the NL Cy Young Award this year, so this is a huge blow. And Alex, how many times have we sat here again and again saying, UCL injury. We don't know if it's Tommy John, but there is damage to the UCL. As we hear, the Braves tweeted this out. There is damage. An MRI revealed that there's damage to the UCL in his right elbow. They'll be further evaluated. So it's not a good sign. Am I saying Spencer Strider's not going to pitch again this year? No, absolutely not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but I know it's not a good sign that his right UCL has damage to it. So if we're going to think about this, he's going to miss it. In my opinion, he's going to miss some time. Is it all year? I don't know. Is it a month? I don't know that. But either way, I thought the Braves had the best rotation in the game of baseball. Without Spencer Strider, that's obviously not true, but I still believe they have a good rotation. Max Fried is capable of being an ace. I love the addition of Chris Sale. Charlie Morton's nasty. So do I think Spencer Strider being out derails their hopes of winning the NL East? I don't. But I do worry long-term about this. One, about Spencer Strider, and two, about the Braves' ability to win in the playoffs if they don't have Spencer Strider. So I'm going to say that this is an overreaction, that they can't win the division without him. But man, this is it's just a tough blow for the Braves, obviously, and for the game of baseball. You know, I had Spencer Strider striking out 300 guys this year. And damage to the UCL is just a tough blow. I still think they're really good. I still think they can and will. I have them winning the division. This doesn't change my opinion. But what this does do for me is changes. If I were to have the Braves winning the World Series, which I didn't, Alex, I have the Phillies over the Orioles in the World Series. But if I did have the Braves winning, this would change my opinion on if they can win in October or not. They need him in October to win.
It's just so heartbreaking and such a stomachache. Anytime you hear UCL damage, regardless of what it is, obviously right now he's getting further evaluated and they're calling it a UCL sprain. But we're having a lot of big names get Tommy John recently. I mean, Shane Bieber out for the season, Uri Perez, DeGrom recovering, Garrett Cole had a scare. I mean, Shohei had the non-Tommy John
Urquidy
surgery.
with the Astros.
It's like, what do you think is the cause right now of all of these UCL injuries? Because we're seeing way more than we used to.
I'll tell you exactly what the cause is. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it's the pitch clock. It's the lack of sticky substances on the baseball. It's not that. To me, it is so clear what is happening of why guys are more and more getting Tommy John surgery. And it's the fact that every time, especially these younger pitchers are stepping on the mound, they're trying to throw the shit out of the ball and throw 110 miles an hour every time they step on the mound. And every time they throw a curveball or a slider, they're trying to spin it to as much as they possibly can. And that has changed. We talked to John Smoltz. I talked to Smoltz on Saturday with Smoltz, I think it was last year. And he said, it's just the game has changed. Guys used to not want to throw 100 miles an hour every pitch. And think of Justin, my brother, when he came up and still he had 102 in his back pocket, but he wasn't trying to do that every pitch. He would come up, he would sit 92 to 93. And by the ninth inning or seventh, eighth, ninth, he would ramp it up a little bit. But if he didn't need it early in the game, he wasn't trying to throw his absolute hardest. So for me, it's the fact that these guys are just coming up in the age of driveline. And I'm not trying to put driveline on blast here, but I need to throw as hard as I possibly can. I'm not going to get a scholarship unless I'm throwing mid 90s. I'm not going to get drafted unless I'm throwing upper 90s. And that's what we're seeing now. And, this stat right here, if you're watching, you can see it. In 2008, only 1 in 7 pitchers got Tommy John. And under 10% of pitchers in the league were averaging 95 miles an hour or more on their fastball. Fast forward to 2018, about 20% of pitchers are averaging over 95 miles an hour or more. And 1 in 3 pitchers are getting Tommy John. The answer is right in front of us. Guys are just trying to throw their absolute hardest every pitch, and your arm's just not built to do that. It is so clear to me, and it's so frustrating because the game needs guys like Garrett Cole and Spencer Strider. But Spencer Strider, since the day he's come up, has tried to throw every pitch 100 miles an hour, and it's just not, it doesn't work for your elbow. It just doesn't.
So it's the race to the highest velo. How are you going to tell a guy though, like stop throwing as hard as you can? Like that's not going to happen. So like, how do you fix this? How do you help this?
You look at them, you point at them and say, you ever heard of Justin Verlander? He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest of all time. Let's watch some tape when he came up and pitched. This guy would sit 92 to 93 early on in a game. And until he got in trouble, that's when he would reach back. Spencer Strider, you are one of the best pitchers in the world. You don't need to throw 100 every pitch.
Trust your stuff.
You can pitch at 92 or 94 with your slider and your new curveball, and it works. And guess what? If a guy gets on second or third base and you need to ramp it up a little bit, you have 100 in your back pocket, but you don't need 100 every single pitch. Spot up your fastball. 94 miles an hour on the black is a tough ass pitch to hit. It just is. So the fact that he knows he has 100 is a different thing to me, but he feels like he needs to throw 100 every single pitch. And that's the difference. So what do? You look at them and say, hey, right now, every pitcher in the world is getting Tommy John and missing a year plus of baseball. Look at that guy. Look at Justin Verlander. He's one of the greatest of all time. Look at John Smoltz. Look at all these names that came up and didn't try and throw or spin the ball as hard as they could every pitch.
I mean, I get it, but that's going to be a tough sell. That would be a tough sell to these pitchers that are just throwing for their lives. But let's talk about the other Spencer now, okay? Our next overreaction. Spencer Steer is the breakout star of 2024.
Oh, that is not an overreaction, Alex. I absolutely love this. We are both very high on the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, yeah.
And it was for a lot of different reasons. I was really high on this pitching staff. I had a feeling Ellie De La Cruz could turn into a superstar. You love Ellie De La Cruz for many different reasons. We loved this Reds team.
Yeah.
But Spencer Steer is having himself an absolute year. And I know it is April 8th, right? It is early. We're 2 weeks into the year, maybe not even officially 2 weeks yet. But what Spencer Steer is doing is nothing short of it's remarkable. The numbers he is putting up is incredible. He's hitting grand slams in extra innings. He's hitting go-ahead homers and tie ball games in the 8th. He's stealing home. He's doing it all. And you look up now and the guy's hitting 406 with 3 homers, 12 RBIs, and an OPS over 1,300. So he's the perfect piece in this lineup of really young guys that it's like, is Ellie going to break out? Because the Reds need Ellie to break out. Is Matt McClain going to be great? Well, no, because he's now injured. So who's going to be this staple in the lineup? And that is shown to be Spencer Steer this year. And honestly, he's the perfect piece to have because he's a right-handed bat. And teams like to turn Ellie around because Ellie doesn't hit as well from the right side of the plate. So if you bring in a lefty and you have Spencer Steer hitting behind Ellie De La Cruz, then you have to face Spencer Steer with a lefty and he's just going to rake against them. So no, this is not an overreaction at all. The breakout star of 2024, at least one of them, is absolutely Spencer Steer. The dude's hitting over 400. It's incredible.
It is. I mean, the NL Central is off to an extremely strong start right now. So the Reds are playing well, but they're still 4th right now in the division. Can Steer lead this team to the top of the division?
I think so. You know, we both picked them to win the NL Central.
Yeah.
I do. The more I think about this division, it's going to be good all year long. There's not a team that's bad. And it's not, you know, I don't think the World Series winner is coming from the NL Central. I'm not saying it went from one of the worst divisions to one of the best divisions in baseball overnight. But you look at this division, you have the Reds, who we have winning it. You have the Brewers, who I think I undervalued a little bit and are a good baseball team. You have the Cardinals, who really underperformed last year. The Cubs are good. The Pirates are great, at least early on. This is a fun division. I could see a world in which all 5 of these teams are within a couple games of each other come the end of the year. So I still like the Reds to win the division. They have done nothing to this point to take me off of that pick that I have. I love the rotation. I love what Spencer Steer's doing. I think CES is great in that lineup. He's finally starting to hit. I think Ellie's going to be great. So yeah, I'm still very high on the Reds and I still think they win this division.
All right, let's move to the AL Central. For our final overreaction Monday, the Detroit Tigers are the most surprising team.
I'm going to say this is an overreaction. And one, you know that I love the Tigers.
I know. I was expecting a different facial reaction from you.
I want them to be good so bad, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
The Tigers are having a good year to start the year. They're sitting as we head into this new week. They're 6-3. Great start to the year. I'm still not sold. I tweeted this the other day. The Tigers offense is enough to drive me up a wall. Their pitching rotation is so good. It is so fun. Tarek Skubal is great. I picked him to win the AL Cy Young Award, and he's an absolute stud. The guy throws 100 from the left side, and he's been really good to start the year. Honestly, every start he's had, his stuff is nasty, and he's the leader of that rotation. But it's the offense for me. I'm not yet I'm just not sold that this offense is the offense that it takes to win the division. And I want to be on board. Everybody on social media, and there's so many Tigers fans and others saying the Tigers are going to win the AL Central and they're going to be the surprise pick. And I want that to be true so
I know
bad.
you do.
I just don't think the offense is there yet.
Okay.
I just don't. I think there's too many games where we'll go and they can't put up a run for innings, and I just get frustrated. So not only will I say this is an overreaction that the Tigers are the most surprising team,
Yeah.
I'll give you the most surprising team in baseball.
Okay. Let's go.
And I think that's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz has been dealing with injuries over the last couple of years. The guy's hitting walk-offs against the Baltimore Orioles back-to-back days, where the Pirates are walking off the Orioles, winning a series
So
against
impressive.
Yeah,
So
against
impressive.
the best team in the American League last year, all season long, until the playoffs. And again, one of the best, if not the best team in the American League this year in the Baltimore Orioles. And you get a big series early in the year. And again, game 8 matters just as much as game 162.
Oh yeah.
So I get it's early, and I get that we're talking about 2 wins on April 6th and April 7th for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But to beat the Orioles the way they did at home, to walk them off in back-to-back days, to have O'Neal Cruz playing the way he's playing, to have their bullpen doing what they're doing, man, the Pirates are a lot of fun right now. So I will take the Pirates as of right now as my most surprising team in the game of baseball.
I love that. And it matters. The Pirates, a team that I don't think anybody thought was going to have this start of a season. You need to utilize this. You need to use this as motivation and keep it going throughout the season. But guess what? They're going to be in our next segment, because it's time to move on to the top teams in the league. It's time for power rankings. So let's get started with number 10, not ranked last week, at 10, the Boston Red Sox.
I don't even know what to say here.
I don't either.
To think that the Red Sox would have been in the power rankings at any point this year. I didn't have that on my bingo card, Alex. We didn't yet put together our bingo cards, but maybe
Next
you
show.
did. Did you?
Next show, we're doing it. Well, you need to be here. Yes, I've already started making a list. I'm really excited for this.
I don't believe you. I don't think you have a list yet.
I'll show you. It's in my note. It's in my notes in my phone. I really do. I promise. I've been thinking about it.
Well, I don't think Alex had the Boston Red Sox being in the top 10 on her bingo card. And here they are at 7-3. We talked about it last week. It's the rotation. The rotation has been the best in baseball to start the year. And do I think they're going to be that all year long? Would I right now say at the end of the year, the Boston Red Sox are going to finish in the top 10 in baseball and make the playoffs? I wouldn't say that, but that's the whole point of doing power rankings every single week, is that it changes and it evolves. And right now, the Boston Red Sox are absolutely a top 10 team in the game of baseball. Their rotation has been the best in the game of baseball. And there's nothing, Pivetta, Bayo, they've been so good. So yeah, Boston Red Sox, number 10.
All right. At number 9, up one spot this week, the Brewers.
Yeah, the Brew Crew has, at least to this point, proven me wrong. Jackson Trio has been great at 20 years old, doing what he's doing in that lineup. He was you shouted him out last week. They're 6-2. They're in a good spot. Freddie Peralta is a great ace of the staff. I do struggle. Here's my thought with the Brewers. Their rotation was so good for so long because it had Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. Now you're dealing with one of those three as an ace of the staff kind of guy. I don't believe in this rotation to hold up over the course of 162 games. But right now, I think I undervalued a bit that the team as a whole. Their back end of the bullpen has been great. Rhys Hoskins over at first base has been a lot of fun to watch with the Brew Crew. Trio in the outfield. They've just kind of been doing it from all over. So yeah, they're 6-2 right now. They come in at number 9.
All right, at number 8, also making your power ranking debut and your surprise team of the season so far, the Pirates.
Yeah, in full disclosure, the Pirates were like 11 last week. They were right on the cusp of being in the top 10. And they continued it and had another really good week and beat one of the top teams in the game of baseball in the Baltimore Orioles. And they're sitting at 8-2. The Buccos are so much fun right now. Here's my thing with the Pirates. It's all about going in all in when you need to. And I was talking to John Smoltz about this. Are they going to do it? This team is fun. They're good. I think Pittsburgh has great baseball fans. It is time with this team. So are you going to be able to stay in it until the trade deadline and then add around this team? Because if they can, this team can be really good and do some damage. So right now the Pirates are at number 8. They're 8-2 and looking great.
All right, number 7, a third team that was not ranked at number 7, the Guardians.
Yeah, these power rankings are wild this week, Alex.
Weird.
We got the Guardians coming in at 7. They've been really, their run differential is great. They've been on the road a lot to start the year. Emmanuel Clase has been racking up the saves at the back end of the bullpen. Their offense has been doing enough. So this to me, at least so far, this Guardians team that's 7-2 feels like the 2022 Guardians and not the 2023 Guardians that were pretty much a letdown last year. So they've been a lot of fun. They've been playing great defense. They've been scoring enough runs and pitching well. And last I checked, that's the recipe to success is you throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. If you can do those 3 things, you'll be a damn good baseball team, Alex. And the Guardians are right now.
I love it. All right, moving on to number 6, moving down 1 spot out of the top 5, the Phillies.
Yeah, the Phillies just haven't. I could have told when I picked the Phillies to win the World Series. I could have told you we'd be a couple weeks or maybe even a couple months into the year, and the Phillies wouldn't be in the best spot in the world. They always feel like they get off to a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
The offense takes forever to come around. I didn't pick the Philadelphia Phillies to win the World Series because I think they're going to win the NL East and just dominate all year. I didn't. I have the Atlanta Braves winning the NL East. I have the Phillies getting in as a wild card. This seems to happen every year, and they turn it on come October. Not even come October. Post All-Star break, the Phillies become one of the better teams in baseball. I think that's the case. I think with this team, it's all about just getting in the playoffs. I think they're going to be able to do that. They're stacked. They're really good. They're just not playing great right now. So I keep ticking them down just a little bit. They're 4-5. They're fine, but they are here at number 6 right now.
All right, let's move into the top 5. At number 5, down 1 spot, the Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles are 5-4. Just lost that series to the Pirates. As we know, the Pirates came into the power rankings at number 8. Orioles have to bump down a little bit. Look, they're sitting here at 5-4. I love the team. I was really high on their rotation this year. They don't have Bradish back yet at this point. Corbin Burns and Grayson Rodriguez have been great. The offense isn't yet firing on all cylinders. I really like this Orioles team. They're just not playing great right now. So after a loss to the Pirates, I bumped them down just a little bit. So 5-4 here at number 5.
Okay, at number 4, up 2 spots, the Rangers.
The Rangers are impressive.
They're looking good.
Honestly, if you look at how good this team can be, they're 6-3. And the reason I didn't yet in my power rankings have them super high is because it's like, what makes this Rangers team unbelievable? I think it's the fact that you can start off a playoff series by going Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. Well, they don't have that right now. In fact, their rotation is a little bit like they're just trying to put some pieces together and have a good start to the year and just kind of pass the baton until you can get some healthy guys back. Well, they're sitting here at 6-3, looking good in the division. The reigning World Series champions. Corey Seager looks great. Marcus Semien had an unbelievable game on Saturday. Hit a bomb, a bunch of RBIs. So I just think this team has been, I don't know. I don't want to say underrated because they did just win the World Series. And I don't think I underrated them in terms of like how good I think they are. I knew they were a good team. I just think even without being at top strength, while missing DeGrom, Scherzer, Josh Young just going down with an injury, they just keep performing and keep stepping up. And that's the recipe to winning. And the Rangers
that's
know how
a
to do
sign
that.
of a great team. You have depth and you can still win even when your top guys are out. Okay, let's move into the top 3. At number 3, their top guys are heating up. The Yankees.
Yeah. The Yankees are a lot of fun to watch right now. Obviously, to start the year, they did about as well as they could, sweeping the Astros, 4 games there. Was excited. Honestly, probably the most excited I've been to watch a Yankees game was when they went back home, face the Blue Jays, the home opener of this new look Yankees team. And they just laid an egg in that first game against the Blue Jays and lost 3-0 in that game. And then stepped back up and game 2 against the Blue Jays and ended up doing really well, winning that series. They're 8-2 right now. I'm telling y'all, I have been high on this Yankees team. Everybody outside of New York wants to hate on the Yankees. The addition of Juan Soto in that lineup and the fact that Carlos Rodon didn't pitch last year until late in the year and came back and was not himself. We're not just talking an addition of Juan Soto in the lineup. We're basically talking an addition of Carlos Rodon as well, because he's a really good pitcher that was not able to get back to himself last year, had an entire offseason, looks good this year. This is a different Yankees team. Marcus Stroman, it looks great in pinstripes. I really like this Yankees team. I've been high on them from the beginning. Alex has them in the World Series. We've both been high on them. And now here they are at number 3 in the power rankings. And I stand by that. I think this is one of the best teams in baseball. And I think they can do damage in the AL East and in the playoffs.
Well, I agree, because I have them making it all the way to the World Series. And at number 2, the team they will be facing in the World Series, the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers, it feels like I watch Dodgers games and it's like, yeah, this team's just not quite clicking yet. And they're 8-4 and looking and playing really good baseball.
It's insane.
And it finally feels like, I said it on This Week in Shohei Ohtani News on Friday. Shohei is starting to heat up, and I can always tell by his swing, and even if he's making outs, where he's hitting balls, how hard he's hitting balls. And I said it on Friday, he's about to lock in. He is locking in. And we saw that over the weekend. He hit that homer at Wrigley Field in his first game at Wrigley ever.
So
cool. I really like the Dodgers are a really good team. They're not even clicking yet, and they're 8-4 and it's second in the power rankings. That speaks to how good they are.
I mean, that lineup is just nasty. But according to you, not as crazy as this next lineup, because you got the Braves at number 1.
Yeah, the Braves are 6-2. I'm sticking with them at number 1. Nothing's happened to make me change my mind there. And the Spencer Strider injury could change things long term. And do I feel great about the Braves? Do I feel if the Braves go into the playoffs without Spencer Strider, do I feel great about their chances? I really don't. I think he's a key to them winning the World Series. But as of right now, we don't know the prognosis on Spencer Strider, and we do know that the Braves are still playing really good baseball, and 1 through 9 best lineup in my opinion in baseball. Still, they're great. The Atlanta Braves, as we sit here, Alex, on Monday, April 8th, are the best team in the game of baseball. Their rotation took a hit. There is no doubt about that. Their rotation without Spencer Strider is not the same. But as of right now, and until that comes up and makes a difference for them, I still think they're the best team in baseball. That could change, but as of now, nothing to change. So top 10 complete. We go Red Sox, new to the top 10. Brewers at number 9. Pirates at number 8, new to the top 10. Guardians at number 7, new to the top 10. Then we go Phillies, Orioles, Rangers, Yankees, Dodgers, Braves.
All right, now let's talk about the best of the best in baseball this week, because it is time for Team of the Week, Ben. And we're going to get started behind the plate. Your catcher of the week, Salvador Perez.
Oh, I'm excited for this Team of the Week, Alex. By the way, let me just say, I say it every single time, but Team of the Week runs from Sunday to Saturday. So the Sunday that just happened will count to next week's stats. Every week, I get crap online, Alex, of how is so-and-so? He just hit 18 home runs on Sunday. Well, guess what? Those will count for next week. So from March 31st to April 6th are these dates. And we're starting with Salvi Perez, friend of the pod behind the plate, because he just hit 464 with 2 homers, 9 RBIs, a 1.197 OPS.
All right. Moving up to first base, Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Harper didn't have a hit entering these dates. March 31st to start the day, didn't have a single hit. He hit 3 homers in a single game to break out of his slump. Hit 381 on the week with those 3 homers, 7 RBIs, and an OPS over 13 400. This is kind of my thought with the with the Phillies. They just never like click early all at the same time. And then it's just like they all figure it out at different times. And then come August, September, they're all clicking on all cylinders. Bryce Harper just feels like the first of them to really lock in. And Bryce Harper's great. So another great week.
They're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine.
Yep.
Let's move to second base. Jose Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve, another great week for him. 435, 3 homers, 10 hits, an OPS of over 1,400. This guy's just the staple of consistency. I feel like every time I talk about Freddie Freeman, I feel like I say staple of consistency. This guy is just Mr. Consistent. Well, that's Jose Altuve on the American League side, and he's the best second baseman in Astros history. Arguably one of the best second basemen. Not arguably, he is one of the best second basemen in the history of Major League Baseball. He's great. I love Jose Altuve. What an incredible dude. A friend of mine. I love the dude. Happy to put him on this list. He had a great week.
All right, let's move over to third base. Isaac Paredes.
Yeah, Alex, we talked last week about how, hey, like maybe you were really keen on me continuing to talk about fantasy baseball because you love how much I bring that up. I had Isaac Paredes on my fantasy team last year, and the guy was great. And I really do feel like he's one of the more underrated players in the game of baseball. Everyone says, how do you look up at the end of the year and see the Tampa Bay Rays in the playoffs? I don't get it with that roster. And it's because of guys like Paredes. Great week, 350, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, and an OPS over 1,200. But this guy's going to hit you at 30. He can hit you 30 homers. And it's just an underrated name in the game. He's great for them. He's huge for that lineup. Another good week.
All right, moving over to shortstop, Jeremy Pena.
Yeah, an Astros middle infield here. 381, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, and an OPS over 1,000. If Jeremy Pena can be what he was, I want to say 2022 playoffs, but that's not fair. He was one of the best players in the playoffs when they went on that run. But you just need him to continue to take steps forward. And last year I felt was a bit of a step backwards for him. I think Jeremy Pena is great, and I think he can be a really good shortstop in the big leagues. And it seems like he's heating up. So I'm excited to see that, it's early in the year, it's early April, but I'm excited to see the year that Jeremy Pena has.
It's hard when you're getting like MVP in the different levels of the playoff. Anything after that is going to be like, well, is he living up to that? You set the bar really high right out of the gates.
It's sort of like Randy Arozarena in the playoffs and World Baseball. Like he's like the greatest player of all time in the playoffs and World Baseball Classic. And then playoff Randy. And then he starts the year or in the regular season. He just doesn't live up to if playoff Randy was regular. If he was putting up the same numbers in the regular season, he'd hit 350 with 60 homers. And the fact that he's not that guy just makes you think, okay, he's not living up to expectations. And it's like, well, no, let's pump the brakes here with Jeremy Pena. He's a guy that took over for Carlos Correa at the time, one of the best shortstops in baseball, had a great first year, a great playoffs, and then a little bit of a sophomore slump. And now I'm excited to see how he rebounds from that. Absolutely.
Okay, now let's move to the outfield. And remember with the outfield, it's just 3 outfielder, not necessarily by position or in order. So let's get started with the guy we've been talking about already, Spencer Steer.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. He had 500 on the week with 3 homers, 10 RBIs, slugged over 1,000. He really does do it all for this team. And I thought opening day early on in the year, he was hitting a little too low in this lineup. He was hitting like 7th in the lineup. And I was like, good Lord, this guy's way too good for that. And now here we are, and they've bumped him up a bit in the lineup. He's hitting against righties. He's hitting against lefties. He's hitting go-ahead homers and extras. He's hitting grand slams and extras. This guy, Spencer Steer, so far has been the key to the Reds' success. And offensively, once guy after guy started going down, and Friedel and Matt McClain, it was like, now where are you going to get the production from? Is Ellie really going to step up? And Spencer Steer has been the guy to prove he's ready to break out. I think he's a breakout star of 2024, as we talked about earlier, and he's the first of 3 outfielders.
Yeah, he's that guy. Let's get to our second outfielder, Jarren Duran.
Yeah, Duran and the surprising Boston Red Sox. He hit 462 with a homer, 4 stolen bases, on base percentage of 500 on the week. So Yeah, the Red Sox are surprising some people, and Duran is breaking out himself. We can talk about Spencer Steer being a breakout 2024 star. If the Boston Red Sox end up somehow putting together a good year, and I'm not, trust me, I am not saying the Boston Red Sox are making the playoffs. But if there is a world in which they do make the playoffs, Jarren Duran is going to be a Netflix superstar.
I know. I'm like, I can't wait to see the behind the scenes of all this Netflix documentary we're going to get. Yeah. They need this. The show needs this. Maybe that's why they're playing so well and they're off to such a good start, because the cameras are on. You kind of have to turn it on. You take it to the next level because you're trying to impress everybody. Who knows? It could be the best thing that happened to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Our final outfielder, Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, Seiya Suzuki also having a breakout year. Look, Seiya Suzuki so far in his career has shown signs of being really good and just gone through. If you look at the second half of his year last year, it was really good. So if you were putting people on a bingo card to start the year of who's an underrated guy to potentially go out and put up like MVP type numbers, Seiya Suzuki should be one of those guys just because of the raw talent and ability he has. This week, he is my third of three outfielders in no particular order. Hit 391 with 2 homers, 11 RBIs, and an OPS over 1100.
Okay, let's move to your designated hitter of the week, Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, Ozuna is one of the reasons this Braves lineup is so deep. You can bat him in the lower half of the lineup, and he hit 429, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, and OPS over 1400 on the week. The Braves lineup is absolutely absurd. And, you can point to the Braves lineup and say, hey, why is this lineup so good? And you'll point to Ronald Acuna, you'll point to Austin Riley, you'll point to Matt Olson and Michael Harris II. And one of the later names you would mention is Marcell Ozuna, and the fact that that's the case speaks volumes to this Braves lineup. So he's my DH this week.
All right, your starting pitcher. It was also your spotlight player last week, Ronel Blanco.
Yeah, this one shouldn't be surprising to anybody. And again, this list goes from Sunday to Saturday. Ronel Blanco did start on Sunday, and he did very well again, but it doesn't count for this week. But what does count is his no-hitter, throwing 9 innings, punching out 7 guys, only walked 2, didn't give up a single hit. And it's just the story for me. It's the story that I spotlighted last week of the guy was in the hospital all day long, having his second child, a baby girl, and with his wife there, and didn't go to the stadium until the last possible second, didn't know if he was on the opening day roster, went and threw great, made the team, came off the mound, found out he made the team. And then in his first start a week later, throws a no-hitter in his 8th ever big league start.
So
it's just
cool. It's so
an incredible story. It really is.
It's so cool. All right, let's wrap things up with your relief pitcher of the week, Emmanuel Clase.
I did. I mentioned him earlier. The Guardians are playing, I would say, surprisingly good baseball.
Yeah.
And he's been at the back end. He's one of the best closers in the game. Absolutely there. 3 innings pitched, 3 saves, 4 strikeouts, 2 hits, and not a single walk. You pass the baton to Emmanuel Clase in the back into the bullpen. You feel really good about your chances to win. And every single time that they pass it to him this week, he got the job done. So he rounds out my team of the week. But Alex, I want to go to my player of the week, and I'm going to rewind just one player. My player of the week is Ronel Blanco. It's the story. It's the no-hitter. If he threw a no-hitter, he would 99 out of 100 times be my player of the week. But the fact that it's the story that it involves, and I honestly think if we look back on, whatever day the season ends, November 3rd, I don't know, I made that up. If we look back on that day and say, what was the feel-good story of the year? We're going to point back to one of them, if not the best feel-good story, being Ronel Blanco for what he just went through and how he made the team and how he was told, and then throwing a no-hitter in his first start. And then, by the way, following that up with continuing a no-hitter into his second start for quite a bit of time. Ended up going 14 2/3 innings pitched without a single hit given up to start a season. That is 44 consecutive outs without allowing a hit. That's the second longest streak at any point in the season, certainly to start a year for the Houston Astros. Mike Scott did it in 1986. So it's a historic stretch is what it is. So also this stat, 1 or 0 hits in a 2-start span in 15 plus innings since 1901. Again, this is a 2-start span. This isn't just to start the year. Ronel Blanco did it, obviously, this year in 2024, and it hasn't been done since Max Scherzer in 2015. And before that, Dennis Eckersley in 1977. So the stretch that Ronel Blanco is on right now is pretty historic. He is my player of the week, which concludes my team of the week. Alex, I want to ask your player of the week, but to conclude, that's Salvi Perez behind the plate, Bryce Harper, Jose Altuve, Isaac Paredes, Jeremy Pena, Spencer Steer, Jaron Duran, Seiya Suzuki, Marcelo Zuna, and then you got Ronel Blanco and Emmanuel Clase. Who you got, Alex? Who's your player of the week?
We've been talking about my player of the week all episode. It is Spencer Steer. He has arrived. He absolutely crushed it this week, leading the league in slugging percentage. He was tied for first with 3 home runs, including his first grand slam of his career in extra innings to beat the Phillies in Philly, which we know is not an easy task. Batting 500 on the week, 10 RBI. I mean, we have a family connection to Spencer Steer. My brother-in-law, Marcos, is one of his offseason hitting coaches and has been working with him since he was in high school. So anytime this guy does well, the whole Curry family is like, let's go, buddy. We love this. Yeah. But we came into this season both extremely hot on the Reds. And to see Spencer Steer have this start to the season is just, it gives you that extra hope that it's not just someone like an Ellie De La Cruz, just how deep this roster really is with all these young, talented players. And he really showed up this week and I think showed the league like he's the real deal.
Who's his hitting coach? Uncle Marco? Is that what you said?
My brother-in-law. Marcos.
Tell Marcos we want Spencer Steer on Flippin' Bats.
Oh, yeah. Done.
Great.
Okay. We got the connect. We got the connect.
Absolutely got the connect. And the guys are raking. One can only imagine what the Flippin' Bats good luck will do for him. So
let's go.
That could be a selling point, by the way.
Tell
brother-in-law Marcos.
We'll tell Marcos.
Yeah. All right. Well, Alex, that does it. Fun show. Lot to talk about. Yeah. I really hope we will update everyone on the Spencer Strider news and the update there on whatever happens with him. But that is a tough blow for the Atlanta Braves if he is out for an extended period of time. But fun show, power rankings every Monday, team of the week every Monday, overreaction Monday we got as well. So this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to go stare at the sun tomorrow.
Yeah, be careful, please. Be careful.
And then go up
Ben
to
comes back
watch
blind.
the Astros.
Ben comes back blind on Thursday. I don't mean to laugh at that. I don't mean just Ben. He made
for
a
watching
whoopsie.
and listening. Yes, we have another show coming up on Friday. Check that out. Saturday with Smoltz, as we have every single Saturday. The Hall of Famer John Smoltz joins to talk some of the biggest things happening in baseball, sharing some stories as well. So this episode, then we got Friday and Saturday as well. Make sure you're subscribed, following wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify. You can also watch every single thing we do on Spotify and on YouTube. And again, follow us on TikTok. Go over there. We put some great stuff there. We want 100,000 followers. We're getting really close to it. So thank you all for listening to this episode. I hope everyone had a great weekend, has a great Monday. But until next time, my friends, this has been another episode of Flippin' Bats. And remember, find your bat and flip it. Peace.